So if you know me a little bit, you know that I use an iPhone, a MacBook Pro, and my beloved iPad mini as my daily drivers. So why do I still keep an iPad Pro around? Where does it fit in, and what's the purpose? Let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants.
Hey, what is up guys? It's great to see you all again, and if you're new here, I'm Patrick and this is where I ramble about tech and other stuff. So ever since the iPad mini 6 came out, I've been obsessed with it. It has been my favorite iPad ever and I can't stop gushing about it. So a lot of you guys have been asking me, if you love your iPad mini so much and you're also using an iPhone and a MacBook Pro, why are you still using an iPad Pro? Where does that fit in this lineup? And you know what? That's a really fair question, and it made me think, why am I still keeping this iPad Pro around? I've jokingly called it an expensive bookend, and I've said it's mainly collecting dust since I grabbed my iPad mini so much. And while it's true that I grab my iPad mini way more often than I do this iPad Pro, describing it as a dust catcher doesn't quite do it justice. And as I started monitoring my own use of the iPad Pro, as research for this video, it turns out that I actually do use it a lot more than I realized. So let me share with you how I use Apple's largest iPad and some of my thoughts about where I think it fits into the Apple ecosystem. I think the easiest way to determine exactly what the iPad Pro is by elimination. In other words, by determining what it's not. Now let's start with the biggest misconception and probably the most asked question I get on this channel, and that is the iPad Pro a replacement of the MacBook? And the answer is no. As much as most of us would love a true hybrid from Apple, something that acts like a tablet when you need it to, and then turns into a full-blown computer when it's attached to the Magic Keyboard, the iPad Pro is not that. Yes, these devices are getting incredibly powerful, especially since they've started putting Apple's silicon chips inside. There is still too much an iPad Pro cannot do that a computer can. And we're still stuck with iPadOS, which, let's face it, it's a glorified iPhone operating system. As a result, the apps available on the iPad Pro are also glorified iPhone apps. Ergo, your next computer is still gonna have to be a computer. Right, so this is not a MacBook replacement. Now, the iPad Pro does take a SIM card, and some of us wish they could use the iPad Pro to replace their iPhones, as an all-in-one device that can also make cellular calls. And of course, you're not gonna jam a massive iPad down your pants and walk around like that all day, but there are plenty of occasions like work trips, conferences, working in a coffee shop, where we'd love to be able to just bring one single device. And while there are ways to make calls on an iPad Pro using certain apps like Skype or WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, etc., as it stands, the iPad Pro cannot make or take cellular calls, so it cannot fully replace a phone. Okay, so it's not a MacBook and it can't replace your phone, even temporarily. Now, maybe a less obvious question, can it replace the iPad mini? You can probably guess my answer. The answer is no. The iPad mini, in my opinion, is the only tablet in Apple's lineup. It is that little Kindle on steroids, that perfect content consumption companion. Whether you grab it from your bedside table to read a book or an article, or you're chilling on the couch flipping through some TikToks, or you toss it in a bag before you head out for your train commute, your gym session, or your grocery shopping, the iPad mini is that true handheld tablet that weighs practically nothing and is just easy to use in most scenarios. The iPad Pro, especially this 12.9-inch version I'm rocking, is none of the above. I don't just grab my 12.9-inch iPad really quick. I need a reason to use something this large and heavy, and bringing this with you to go anywhere is a commitment. Okay, so now we've established what it's not. So what the heck is it, and what do I use it for? It probably makes sense to split it up between using it as a tablet and using it inside the Magic Keyboard. Now, as a tablet, I actually used it more than I realized, but mostly for very specific purposes. When using it in tablet mode, by the way, I would definitely recommend putting a case on it, and shout out to our sponsor Casetify for sending over some of their premium cases. Most of us are familiar with Casetify's vast collection of iPhone cases, but they actually make really nice iPad cases as well, and MacBook cases for that matter. I'm a big fan of the attention and care they put in their packaging while keeping it all environmentally friendly. Both the iPad cases and the MacBook cases come with 360 all-round protection, rocking Casetify's EcoShock corner design for that much-needed corner protection. We all know corner drops are the ones that kill your iPad and the glass, so to put superior protection on the corners was a smart move. It's not just the casing on the devices that's protected, because these covers include a high-quality screen protector to protect the glass. The MacBook screen protector also offers a blue light filter to protect your eyes and your sleep, as well as your privacy, because you cannot peek at the screen from the side. Lots of funky designs to choose from on the website, and if nothing tickles your fancy, you can always custom design your own. Go to casetify.com/PatrickRambles today to get 15% off your order. Right, so one of the big selling points of the iPad Pro is that beautiful Liquid Retina XDR display. It is basically a miniature version of Apple's Pro Display XDR, and that brings me to one of my favorite use cases for this iPad Pro, which is to use it as a MacBook Pro companion. I like to set it up next to my Apple Studio display and use it either as a second screen using Sidecar, or, and this is what I do most of the time, I use it separately, but with universal control, which means you can control both your Mac setup and your iPad with the same keyboard and the same mouse. You can even drag and drop items from one to another, or you can copy and paste between devices. I found that to be an incredibly useful feature, and I actually do use that quite often. It's also very useful whenever we travel for more than just a couple of days, and I take both my MacBook Pro and my iPad Pro with me. The 14-inch M1 MacBook Pro is perfect for travel, but I do find myself wanting extra screen real estate for longer work sessions or for video editing. The iPad Pro is perfect for that as well, to function as an extra screen. Another great way to make use of the amazing screen is photo editing. There is something about making adjustments directly on the screen using the Gen 2 Apple Pencil. It feels more precise somehow. Another really great way to take advantage of the screen is gaming. I love handheld gaming on the iPad mini. It's absolutely perfect for that. I actually did a video on the best games for the iPad mini a while back, in case you're interested. And if you're new here, there's a ton of iPad content on this channel, so if you're into that kind of stuff, a sub to the channel would be much appreciated. Anyway, some games just need that big screen to really enjoy them visually. Pair it with a PS5 controller, and you've got yourself a pretty impressive gaming setup on the go. Of course, the 12.9-inch screen on the iPad Pro is also great for watching content. The big advantage of taking this into bed with you to watch a movie over a MacBook Pro, which also has a fantastic screen by the way, is that the iPad doesn't run hot, with or without the Magic Keyboard attached. For that same reason, whenever I feel like writing an article while chilling on the couch, I will grab the iPad Pro because it doesn't get hot on my lap. Plus, it's nice and light. And while we're on the subject, probably the #1 reason for me to keep the iPad Pro around is the Magic Keyboard. To this day, this is the best keyboard I've ever used for typing. And I don't mean best keyboard for a tablet, I mean the best keyboard, period. There's something so smooth and effortless about it that I tend to grab it way more often than my MacBook for those longer writing jobs. And lastly, if I go away on a weekend trip, I want to pack light and I know I'll only have to do some light work, chances are I'll grab my iPad Pro over my MacBook Pro purely because it's more versatile and a little lighter to carry. So what I found is that yes, the iPad mini 6 is my favorite iPad, and the MacBook Pro is absolutely my weapon of choice if I need a workhorse or I need to edit my videos, but for me, the iPad Pro does have a place in the Apple ecosystem. I believe Apple designed this thing to be a companion device, and with every iPadOS update, it is moving more and more in that direction. And as it turns out, that's exactly how I've been using it. So guys, I hope this answers your question. And to be honest, this video has been just as much for me as it was for you. I needed to ask myself this question, and thank you guys for making me answer it. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give it one of these. It really does make a difference. Subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.